Okay, let's make some soap. I'm going to try and show this. You probably won't get to see my face in this video, but I'm going to try to make 3 soaps in real time, and this is because I've already got them master batched out, and as you'll see, I have all my stuff weighed out. But you get to see this in real time, so you know that it's real quick to get down here and make some soap. So when I master batch my soaps, they all come out to a 1 kilogram batch, and they're marked for how much lye they need. And now you can see that some of it's stiff, some of it's not. And that's pretty cool in here. It's 65 degrees is room temperature. Okay. Now, normally, you don't want to mix your lye in glass. But I want you to see how the process goes, because the whole point is when the lye gets to be clear, that's when it's ready to go. This is the aRTY O'SHLeP method, and that stands for room temperature oils steaming hot lye process. Now these are a good canning jar ball, and they should be good for any of the temperatures that we're going to get here. Right now it's probably about as hot as it's going to be, and it's at 200 degrees, 199. And I can feel no crunchiness left from the lye, so it's pretty much mixed up into the water here. And it's cloudy. Now that will actually clear up as we get ready here. Now, before anybody says it, yes, I'm not wearing any gloves, but I know if I get any of this on me, the sink is right behind the camera there, and I can get any of that rinsed off. And as for my visual protection, I do have a full face mask on here, which actually comes down to the beginnings of my chest, and it keeps all the fumes out of my face as well, which is really kind of nice. You see, I normally have a lot of these stainless containers, and that's what I would normally do this in. I would never do this in glass, but I think these are brand new glass. They've only been used once, and I'm not concerned about using them over and over again and having the lye etch the glass over time and have them burst. Now, that's still got to clear up a little bit. We have a scent that's already mixed up in here, and we actually have the color. It's actually a color and a texture. This is powdered sandalwood, and I'm going to actually put this in to the master batched fats, and I'm just going to get that mixed through. Once I put this lye into here, there's not going to be a whole lot of time for fooling around. So we want to have a color that gets mixed through well. We would like to do that before we add the lye. And in a perfect world, I'd like to get the scents in here first. And if I use a fragrance oil. I'm usually not, I have no problems putting that in before the lye. But in the event that I use all essential oils, kind of want to give it a fighting chance, so I will wait for light trace. Now you can see that's pretty well mixed. And you see my particular soap base, even at room temperature, it's pretty easy to get down to something that's fairly liquid. This is probably about the thickness of, well, it's thinner than mayonnaise. It's about as thick as I like my my hot chocolate. Now you can see this is mostly clear now. And if we do a temperature again, it's down to 188. And now, yeah, I'm being careful not to touch the glass where the liquid is, because it is really hot. It's another reason why I like these stainless steel containers, because they have, now hopefully I got this camera in the right position, and you can see that this went and changed the color to like a darkness, and you can see the liquid is quite a bit thinned out. Now you see I've got these silicone molds, and I just built some little rectangular boxes out of scrap wood around them, and I decided that I'm going to just use all these molds instead of trying to figure out ways to line different molds. And so now they're all consistent, and when I use my cutter it cuts them consistently too. Now you can see this has become a whole lot more translucent than it was before, and it's actually a lot thinner because, you know, the temperature has come up from 65 to 111 degrees. These temperatures are Fahrenheit. You're going to have to do your own calculations if you want centigrade or Celsius. But you can see that this is going to be very close to trace. I don't have a little timer on here, so it's hard to tell how long this took. But I guess if you're watching the video, you'll be able to tell. And you see I have the stick blender on the table, but you notice I'm not using it for this. Did want to take a mention. I like to make a lot of batches at once, so if you use this particular brand, you can find other ends. So you use this one, take the end off, toss it to go get washed, put the new one on. You're ready for another without having to worry about contaminating one with your previous. And you can see the liquid on here is, I can see from this angle that it's starting to thicken a little bit more, which is not quite the trace I'm looking for. But we're starting to have some reaction, a little more, that we're up to 115 now. I can feel it thicken as I'm scooping around. So we're going to add the scent in. And this is a little dragon's blood and orange. Call this soap the Dragon's Sandals. Very popular soap. The first 3 batches of this that I ever made, one person bought all of them. Like, brought in a sample and she brought all the soap. I didn't get to use one soap from the whole first 3. Okay. Now you see I kept Kept this little thing off to the side here so that I have a place to put the spoons, and this is ready to pour into the mold. I'll go most of the way, and then little cupcake bites over here get to have what's left over for samples. Okay, so everything we used for that: the lye pot, the water pot, all this goes right into this bucket. That's going to go off to the sink. I'll be right back. Now, special thanks to that steak company that sends you food in these styrofoam containers like this. Each time I make the soap, I'm going to drop this whole block into that container where it will maintain its heat and definitely come to full gel. That was one soap down. Once again, lye into water, not water into lye, and generally don't use glass for mixing your lye. But in this case, I want you to see the clarity. I can see it when it's in the stainless container. But it's hard to see on the camera that way. Again, you see, as soon as this hits the water, it comes right up. Good reason you don't want to get lye anywhere you've got any moisture in your skin. Because yeah, it gets up to 200 degrees, that's enough for a good scorching burn, and it kind of does its trick really quick. But you see, no whisk, no hand blender. This is the beauty of the aRTY O'SHLeP method. You can see I can feel no grittiness, so I know everything's all suspended up in the air. And we're out in my shop now, which I do have air conditioning. I can see the air conditioner says that it's 69 degrees. And where's my magic thingy here? Says, yeah, 64, 65. Not sure why these are colder than the surrounding air, but it could just be that the El Cheapo infrared temperature gauge there is not all that great. Now the coloring in this, I'm going to do coloring and texture, and the coloring is spirulina. It's a green algae. They sell it as a superfood, but I really like it for color. And then you can see I've got just a little bit of poppy seeds in there, just for a little bit. And we're going to get this mixed through. Now you noticed I I'm using the same spoon that I was using to mix the lye. I'm using to mix this. You know, it's plastic and it doesn't have a lot of retention of liquids that are on it, and any small amount of lye is not really going to have any effect on this, especially compared to what's about to happen. Now this is going to be a pale green, and depending on how the process goes today, a lot of times you lose some of this color. It goes from a green to like a brown gray, but still retains that pale green. The scent that we're going to do in this one is a lot of essential oils. Let me see my notes here. We got lime, cedarwood, and fir, black pepper, rosewood, bitter orange, and a little bit of patchouli. Let you figure out your own ratios for that. It takes a little while to get the smeller to where you like what you got. But I've got a few of these perfumes that I've come together with, and it seemed to be good. Alright, you can see this one's really nice and clear now. Oh, let's hit it with the magic wand and see. Yep, 186. I don't know. I'm showing this to the camera, but I can't see the camera, so I don't know if you can see the numbers at all. Alright, you can see this is thick, stiff. As soon as that lye gets in there, well, I can feel it going over my fingers. And it makes me wish I had the handle on the other container. But you can see it darkens up real quick. That's getting all those fats in there, the coconut oil and palm oil and all that stuff that's normally solid. It's very liquid now. This has got them into a very, very melted state. And the temperature's down to 111. It's fairly consistent in how it goes. Got the next mold ready. Now my concern is always that these things are going to go crazy and trace, and go right from trace to almost being completely solid, and I've had that happen a time or two. Usually I'm able to get it scooped out into the mold. Haven't had one that I've really had to lose, although I have had a few that they end up with stuff that's going to be in my shower instead of anybody else's because they're just ugly. You see, I'm mixing constantly. I'm not giving it a chance to take over in any one area than the other. I just keep my eye on it because it seems to go from having that cloudy look to a clear look, and then it just starts to go back to, I guess it's like a cloudy look when it's trace, and you can kind of see that it's gotten thick again. Now we see the temperature's going up. So yeah, so it's enough. It cools it down, but then as the saponification reaction is happening, you're getting some exothermic. And here we go. This is always the scary part. When you put that scent in there. A lot of times the oils, especially if you have citruses or florals or some other ones, they will have a tendency to get things moving really quick. This, without jinxing myself, I'm going to say this one should be fairly well behaved. Pour that, and we'll pour off a couple extra samples. Go. We've got the spoon. Got our set. Lye pot, lye container. We're going to carry this over to the sink. Oh yeah, this is taking on a nice dark, muddy looking green. It's gonna be a pretty one. Okay, I'm gonna open up our container here. You can't see it, but I can see it. I'll show you at the end. Put this second one down in there. Alrighty. And, as I promised, we're on the third one. I don't know. You see a lot of videos and a lot of people talking on the forums, and everybody's worried about, well, you gotta do this for safety, and you gotta do that for safety. It's like in the woodworking forums, and they say, well, we've removed the guards from the table saw so that you can see the wood going through it. Some of this lye, since there's some moisture in the air, is actually starting to clump together. But yeah, I can't stress it enough that you really don't want to mix your lye in glass. Get all that lye in there. This particular one, I'm not going to tell you what the color and scent is, but if any of you have ever worked with it before, you'll recognize it. It's not one that I like to use, but I have a customer that uses it, and when I make it, he has to buy the whole batch. So he needed some, so I'm making it. Now this color and scent is very thick. I'm actually going to use the lye and the heat of it to liquefy this. For the most part, there's not really any saponifiables in here. But the heat will get this very thick, very sticky substance into a workable state. And if we're lucky, it'll all go together nice and smooth. Yeah, because this one is going to have all the color and scent and texture is all combined in one. I'm not really looking for that light trace at this point. Just looking for it to be pourable trace. So again, now this is very dark, but you can see that it has gotten to that more see-through state, but it has thickened right up. And if we don't get this out of here now, we won't get it out of there. You can see this one is going to give me a nice textured top already. And we'll take our samples. Kind of trying to talk the whole way through because I really don't want to go through and cut anything out of here so people don't believe that it was just this quick to make 3 soaps. And if I were of the mind to be fancy, I could make this top all pretty. And now this one's going to go into the styrofoam container as well. One more quick trip to the sink. Alright, let's see if we can get one good view of these. So there's the 3 soaps from left to right in the order that we made them. Here's our little quickie samples. And if you can see me, there's my face gear. Thanks for watching.